What is going down, my YouTube family? It is your boy Zary from the XMG coming at you today to bring you Gorram for noobs. Now, at the time I'm making this, the patch isn't out yet, so hopefully it's coming either tomorrow, which would be Wednesday, or, well, the time you're seeing this, it might be Wednesday or Thursday. This patch has a lot of good stuff in it that's really going to help the crunch and the overall player base to this game. But before we get into Gorram, if you're just finding the channel for the first time, consider hitting that subscribe button. It'll mean more to me than you ever know. Let's help grow the XMG family. So let's get into Gorram for noobs. So I have Gorram at level 80, gear 11. So let's take a look at his overall stats and see what we got. Gorram does physical damage, so he comes in at physical damage at 29.49. His critical chance is at 30.15%. Both his physical damage and his critical chance are about average. Nothing really to write home about there. His health comes in at 20,158. Below average, middle of the road. Not that much more below average, but middle of the road. Physical armor is at 27%. Magic armor is at 32.15%. That is actually very good magical armor to start. His shield is at 25,188. That is on a high end for a shield. His speed is at a 125, which is lower tier, especially for a damage dealer. Potency at 30%, tenacity at 24%. So we learned he has below average speed, he has very good magic armor, he has very good shield, his health is about middle of the road, critical chance about middle of the road. So let's take a look at his move kit and see if any of that is important for Gorram. So Gorram's first ability at level 6, he deals 240% physical damage to an enemy, calls Adam to assist if he is on the battlefield. If that hit was a critical, Adam gains taunt for 1 turn. This is absolutely phenomenal. The biggest problem with the Goblin faction, besides not having a healer, is they don't have a tank. Adam's taunt is extremely unreliable. So having a move on a basic ability that can grant Adam taunt is absolutely huge. But we got a couple things we've learned from here. 1, he needs critical chance, because you got to crit for him to taunt. 2, he does physical damage. And 3, we're going to want him to go quick. Based off this, you're definitely going to want him to go, but the other cool thing with this is if you're lucky enough to have General Murdoch, which I'm not on my main, the assists. You're going to get the assists. And if he is called in on the assist, and he crits on the assist, you get taunt. Awesome move. Really helps out Adam. Second ability is Piggy Cry. He summons 1 Halfpig henchman with 60% of Gorram's health and 60% of his damage. So we learned he's calling in more people, and they come off his damage and his health. So when we're looking at the runes, such as the southwestern rune where you can have shield or health as a primary, we're going to want health there. We're going to definitely want health in the secondary stats. The more health we can get on Gorram, the better the half-pig henchmen are going to be. Third ability, Get Down to Work. It deals 330% of physical damage to an enemy, calls in Halfpig henchmen to assist if they're alive, and restores 1 turn to a random ability to all allied Halfpig henchmen. So let's take a look at this for a second. 330% of physical damage is great. He's going to call all Halfpig henchmen to assist if they're alive, and he restores 1 ability to all allied Halfpig henchmen. So realistically, in a normal battle, we are going to get up maybe 1 or 2 Halfpig henchmen. So this makes me think, potentially, does he have a chance to be put into a raid team where the fights could possibly go a little bit longer? We're going to have to see. Something to play around with, but really we just learned here he needs physical damage. And then his passive ability, Gorram gains 40% critical damage increase and an additional 5% for each living Halfpig henchman on the battlefield. So we want him to crit. We want him to crit often. And then he's giving himself 40% damage, and then as these Halfpig henchmen are dropped, he's gaining another 5%. So his damage output could be crazy high. So that is cool. So we learned from his move kit overall is we need speed, we need health, we need physical damage, but most importantly we need critical chance. His whole move kit is based off of crits. He gets critical damage on his passive, which does you no good if you don't crit. Adam gets taunt if he crits. We're calling in henchmen, and we get more critical damage for the henchmen called in. They get damage based off of his physical damage, not really his crit rate. But we got a couple different ways we could ruin this character. We could go all critical chance. We could go a damage set with a critical chance set. We could go speed with a critical chance set. I would not put critical damage set on this character because he's giving himself so much already. You know, you could go 2 critical chance with a health. You could go a lot of different ways. And I'm mentioning speed now because I haven't had a chance to go through the runic journey at the time I'm making this video. But you are looking at 15 to 60. So if you are a level 80 player, there's no reason why you can't have speed runes now. So all runes should be available to everybody over time, especially much faster than the way they were. So I'm going to rune him with all critical chance to see what we can do. Now you're going to have to excuse my runes on this because I can't farm runes because I haven't done the runic journey yet, but I wanted to get this out before I did anything else. So I have some pretty OP mods that I got from the rune shop, but the way I'm justifying this is you are getting a full purple rune set from the 7-day login new event thingy that's coming out. So you could use all of those on Gorram, so that's the way I'm justifying it. So I will rune him and I will be right back. Alright, I am back with a full rune amulet, and I went all critical chance. The stats I was looking for in the secondaries obviously are damage, speed, health above all else in survivability. He doesn't need potency. Tenacity would be nice, but you don't really have to worry about it. And again, I have some OP runes, but you'll be getting these runes, like I said, through that 7-day login. So let's take a look at what I did. Northern rune, obviously we have the damage in the primary. Potency hit 3 times, we don't need it, but we have armor, speed, and some shield, so some survivability with some speed sprinkled in. Then in the northeastern rune, I obviously went speed. We have damage. Potency, again, we don't need, but the health hit 3 times, and then some shield, and the damage is 1%, so that is huge. Then, obviously, in the southeastern rune, we have armor, damage, shield, health, and damage. Now, in the southern rune, I have a critical damage mod on here, or rune, because it has a health bump, but it has 9 speed. That's a lot. I would prefer a critical chance rune, and here's the critical chance rune I originally had on there, and it gave me shield, some damage, and some potency. But the 9 speed is what I want, because I want him to go faster. So that's why I left the critical damage, but you could obviously put this rune on and be perfectly content with it. Then in the southwestern rune, like I mentioned earlier, I went with the health. I had critical chance hit 3 times, giving him an additional 4.72%. Then I went with some tenacity, some damage, and some armor. And then I went with a damage in the northwestern rune, because we don't need potency. It hit twice with speed to give me 5, but the critical chance hit 3 times, giving me 3.41%. Really happy with that rune. So let's take a look and see what it did to his stats. So we brought up his physical damage, 281 to 3230. Pretty happy with that. Critical chance we brought up 32.13% to 62.6. Yeah. To 62.28%. We could add another 9% to that, getting him to 71%. But we brought up his critical damage by that 31.5% to 81.5. Now remember, he's going to give himself, at maxed out, he's going to give himself another 40% crit damage. So we're at 220% crit damage. Then his health we brought up 2201, bringing it to 22,359. We brought up his physical armor 3.5% to 30. And we brought up his magic armor 4.33%, bringing it to 36.49. We brought up his shield 3305 to 2843 or 493. So together combined, we are looking at about 50,000 health and protection. So pretty happy with that. We got his speed up to 170. That is way better than the 125 base speed he has. So that is fantastic. His potency we don't need, and his tenacity we really don't need. So all in all, not too bad. Pretty happy with what we did. Now remember, just like all my noob series I do off the test account, the patch is not live yet, so this could be subject to change. If something changes between now and when the patch actually launches, I will update in the comments below. So just keep that in mind, everybody. So now let's talk about the scroll sync into Gorram. Everybody gets Gorram. Alright, we bring all of his abilities to level 2. Now, his basic ability here is, at level 2, he deals 105% physical damage to an enemy and has a 30% chance to call Adam in to assist if he's on the battlefield. We get the more chance to assist, more damage, more chance to assist, but we don't gain the taunt until level 6. And that's really what we want out of him and his basic move. That's why we have crit chance on him, so Adam can taunt. Keep that in mind. His piggy cry, you know, at level 2, he summons one Halfpig henchman with 30% of Gorram's health and 40% of his damage. Then it goes up with health, then it goes up with damage, it goes up with health, and it just keeps going up and up, etc., etc. His get to work ability, or get down to work, deals 140% of physical damage to an enemy, calls in a Halfpig henchman to assist if they're alive, with a 30% chance to restore one turn ability to all allied Halfpig henchmen. Then we get more physical damage, and more of a chance to restore an ability. Again, more damage, restore an ability, more damage, restore an ability. His passive ability at level 2, Gorram gains 15% critical damage increase and an additional 3% for each living Halfpig henchman. Then he gets more critical damage and an increase for the henchman, and it goes up and up till we get to 40. So how are we going to scroll sync this guy? The way we're going to do it is we are just going to come to his basic after everything's level 2, and we're going to take that right to level 6. We want that for the whole survivability of the team. So we get that to level 6. We are going to come to his passive ability, and we are going to take that up to level 4. We're going to take that to level 4. We get ourselves a 25% critical damage increase, and then we get an additional 4% for each living pig. Then we are going to come to his piggy cry, and we are going to take that to level 4. Where we summon one Halfpig henchman with 40% and 50% of the damage to give them a little more survivability so they don't get killed off right away, so Gorram can get that extra critical damage. Then we are going to come to get work done, and we again are going to take that to level 4. That gives our physical damage up to 220%. We're calling in all to assist with a 60% chance to restore an ability. Pretty nice. Then we will go to his passive, take that to level 6, go to Piggy Cry, take that to level 6, and then go to Get Work Done and take that to level 6. The reason I did it that way is simple. We want him to crit, and we want him to get that taunt to Adam. We take care of that right away. Then we take care of some damage on the crits. Then we come over and we take care of getting the pigs a little more survivable. Then we worry about calling them all into assist. And then we finish everything off. It's just the way I feel it could be done, the way I will do it on my main account. So everybody, that's what I got for you on Gorram today. Really, really interesting character. The Goblin faction is really taking shape. We still don't have a correct tank, a true tank, but the addition of Gorram definitely helps the survivability of your team. We don't have a healer. That is a problem. But the bigger problem I could see with the Goblin faction is they all synergize off each other in different ways. Gorram synergizes with Adam. You have Amara synergizing with Thanisa. How are you going to fit everybody into one team? You know, you have Pigwald, who can do some crazy amount of damage, especially on the assists. You know, you have Major Shot, who just brings so much to the team with AoEs on 2 of his moves, one being his basic, then the blind and the heal block ability. I don't know how we're going to fit it all into one team. Who are we going to take out to make the team viable? So it's going to be a lot of theory testing, but that's besides the point. So, again, very cool character. Going to be pretty on the hard side to farm. You know, 4/6 invasion of demons. But all in all, really like what they did with this character. Bring some good stuff to the Goblin faction. So once again, if you're just finding me for the first time, click that subscribe button, join the XMG family, turn on notifications so you don't miss out on great stuff coming your way. That's what I got for everybody. I love y'all. I'll see you in the next one. Enjoy the new patch. It's awesome. I'm out.